Hello, and welcome to One Verse at a Time, your weekly sanctuary to slow down, breathe, and meet God in the simplicity of a single line of Scripture. I'm Eli Shepherd. Today, we're spending 10 full minutes reflecting on one of the most famous and yet profoundly comforting verses ever written. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. 5 short words in English. In the next 10 minutes, we'll unpack the rich background, word-for-word meaning, practical application, and even take a guided pause to let that promise wash over our hearts. Ready? Let's dive in. Before we explore, let's hear it slowly. Feel free to read along or simply listen and soak it in. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. That's Psalm 23, verse 1. What word jumped out at you first? Maybe Lord, perhaps shepherd, or want. Keep that word in mind. We'll revisit it with fresh eyes. To understand why this image lands so powerfully, we need to step back into the ancient world of Israel. This psalm is traditionally attributed to David. Yes, the same David who faced Goliath and later became king. But before the palace, there was the pasture. David spent his youth tending sheep on the hills outside Bethlehem. Picture this: rugged terrain, unpredictable weather, wild animals prowling at night. A shepherd's daily routine meant guarding the flock, finding fresh pasture and water, guiding sheep away from danger, and even carrying injured lambs on his shoulders back to safety. When David calls God my shepherd, he's not quoting a poetic cliché. He's speaking from first-hand experience. God wasn't a distant deity to him. He was the hands-on caretaker, the vigilant guard, the provider of every basic need. That intimate relationship shaped the rest of his faith and eventually led him to write words that would comfort generations. Let's start with the first half. The Lord is my shepherd. In Hebrew, the phrase for Lord here is Yahweh, the personal name of God that conveys covenant relationship and unchanging faithfulness. It's the name revealed to Moses in the burning bush. I am who I am. Then comes the word for shepherd, or roi. Unlike a general term for leader, roi implies one-on-one care, tender guidance, and protection. Imagine the shepherd who knows each sheep's quirks, who visually locates the shy one hiding in the brush, who wades into the river to rescue the lamb that fell behind. By saying, Yahweh is my shepherd, David declares both intimacy and trust. My personal God is actively guiding me, feeding me, and shielding me, day in and day out. Now, the second half, I shall not want. The English word want can feel mild, as if I might desire a new car or a better coffee. But in the original Hebrew, the verb is chasar, which means to lack in the deepest sense, physically, emotionally, spiritually. David isn't promising that we'll never face hunger, hardship, or sorrow. After all, later in this psalm he writes, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Rather, he's affirming that in the midst of lack, when life's demands outpace our resources, his shepherd provides what truly matters. He won't let us go without the essentials: peace for our anxious hearts, clarity for our confused minds, provision for our practical needs, even when we can't yet see how those needs will be met. I shall not lack what is absolutely necessary. That's a promise worth anchoring to. I want to be real with you. I've tasted that promise personally. A few years ago, I went through a long season of unemployment. My savings dwindled, bills piled up, and I wrestled each morning with fear. How will I provide for my family? Where will the next check come from? One evening, exhausted, I opened my Bible and landed on Psalm 23:1. I remember whispering those words out loud in my living room. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In that moment, I felt a warmth stir in my chest, a quiet assurance that even if my bank account was empty, my shepherd was not. The next day, a friend reached out with a freelance opportunity. It wasn't just a casual lead. It was exactly the project I needed to bridge that financial gap. That's how God meets us, often in unexpected ways, but always at the perfect time. If you're in a similar storm, hear this. Your shepherd knows your storm, and he is already working behind the scenes. So how do we root this promise deep in our hearts? Here are 3 simple steps you can practice today. 1. Pause and pray the verse. Stop whatever you're doing right now. Take a breath. Whisper, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Treat it as your prayer, your declaration of trust in the middle of uncertainty. 2. Journal your needs. Grab a pen and paper. Write down 3 areas where you're currently feeling lack. Maybe it's health concerns, relational loneliness, job security, emotional exhaustion. Then, under each, write out the full verse as a response. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. 3. Notice daily provisions. At the end of today, look back and ask, where did I sense God's care? Maybe in a restful night, a friend's encouraging word, a small financial blessing, or even an inner peace amid chaos. Gratitude trains our eyes to see how our shepherd provides in ordinary moments. Do this practice consistently for a week, and you'll begin retraining your soul to trust God's provision over your own efforts. Let's take a moment right now to let that truth sink in. You may close your eyes if you're comfortable. Inhale and imagine the fresh air of a green pasture. Exhale any tension in your shoulders. Picture a wide, calm field at dawn. The mist hovers low as rays of sunlight break through. See your shepherd beside you, steady, caring. Feel the warmth of his presence. Silently repeat after me. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Allow that promise to fill every corner of your mind and heart. You are not alone. You are deeply known and deeply cared for. Gently bring your awareness back to this space. Maybe wiggle your fingers or open your eyes if they were closed. Take note of how you feel. More grounded, more at ease, more certain of God's nearness. Psalm 23:1 isn't a one-and-done verse. It's a lifetime mantra you carry into valleys of fear and peaks of joy alike. Whenever doubt creeps in, whenever you wonder how you'll get through, return to your shepherd's words. If today's episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear from your journey. Drop a comment or send me a message. What did you sense God providing as you rested in His promise? Your story might be exactly the encouragement someone else needs. Be sure to subscribe to One Verse at a Time for next week's reflection. Another single verse, another invitation to meet God in the pause. Thanks for listening. I'm Eli Shepherd, and may your shepherd guide your steps and supply your every need today.